Do you know what I absolutely hate more than anything? And I had this thought this week while I was at work. There's one thing that bothers me among all else, I think.
I can take a guess.
If your guess is anything but cliffhangers, then you're wrong.
Okay, I was gonna guess like, metal, like nails and stuff or screws and bolts. How they have sort of a weird feel to them that kind of sticks to your fingers after. It's almost like a weird oily feeling.
I know exactly what you mean because I do that all the time for work, and I end up having to wash my hands all the time just to get that feeling off, that gross
Yeah,
feeling.
the feeling of touching metal. I'm like, this shouldn't have this feeling.
Metal's kind of disgusting, which is weird because it's metal. You'd think it would be like very clean, but it's not.
Now they
Metal
gotta
is
put like
dirty.
to make metal actually clean. They get it, or like when you're holding a something stainless steel or whatever, they have to put so many layers of chemical on that.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
I know, dude.
but that's what I thought you were gonna say you hated because I don't like that.
I don't like it, but I don't hate it. It's more of a mild inconvenience. The thing that has stoked the inescapable fires of my interpersonal rage this week is cliffhangers. And I think that one of the things that really got me thinking about it was fucking Higurashi, weird enough. Because we ended on a cliffhanger 2 episodes ago that we haven't gone back to. And I started thinking, like, cliffhangers are a waste. I don't think they've ever actually convinced anyone to stay on with a show. Because, like, if you're watching the show, you're going to watch the show anyway. And if you don't like it, a cliffhanger isn't going to change that.
Yeah,
It adds the inconvenience of debating me in
well, I
my
think it's more
TV
in the sense
watching
of building
experience.
like it's the building of tension where we end on that cliffhanger and then we're gonna do 2 or 3 episodes about how we got to this point. But I
Yeah,
have some words for Higurashi because I wasn't very pleased with it this week, but we'll get to that.
you know what? I wasn't either.
I'm feeling like someone got character assassinated.
Hard, like ridiculously
Someone is
hard.
not how they were 10 years ago.
They took the script and they took the character and they not even like a little bit either. They bent that character pretty hard. But
Like the
but
only
we'll get
excuse
to
by this
that.
point would be like, oh, it triggered a quick L5 Hanamizawa syndrome,
Even though there are things that should probably
even
get
though
in
they
the way
said
of
that
that.
wasn't a thing anymore. But whatever, we'll see.
Yeah. But we'll get to that because there's a lot to unpack there. Let's start wading through our shows this week. What's up first?
So first up is Otherside Picnic. So the Marines did not end up being dead meat.
No, we didn't watch them get super slaughtered, which is cool. They did get left in the other side without a second thought, which is less cool.
I mean, that's just par for the course for these girls now.
It is. They left a large group of men
Fuck
to
everybody who
exist.
isn't us.
Yeah, even if they're a secondary character like the girl in the chair. Fuck her too.
Yeah, everybody who isn't them, screw them. They couldn't even explain what they know about the other side, going like, hey, there's little pockets where you can get out.
Yeah, they couldn't give the Marines any kind of information at all. They were just like,
I
yeah,
get not wanting to tell them about their elevator route just because that's their primary go-to point, but like they know about the shrine exit that they used before that the old guy showed them.
yeah. There's like weird exits everywhere.
Just
Just
send these poor
find
dudes
one.
back to Okinawa.
At one point, they opened, actually, at a couple points, they opened their own portals. So, like, could you at least help them open their own portal? I mean, for like plot stuff, we
I
learn
know,
that they
yeah,
don't
they're
get the
gonna,
opportunity to, but
Yeah, because one dude freaks out when he sees the eye, but still, I think they're going to be less freaked out if you just go, "Hey guys, look, portal," and then you just walk out, and they're like, "Hey, we can just go home."
Hey, we can stop living in this existential hellscape and just go home. How cool is that?
Also, again, they
Sergeant,
were
I
doing a
do
training
not trust them.
exercise in the mountains of Okinawa, and they have more supplies this week than I thought they had.
They're like, I want to know how long this training exercise was supposed to last.
This is like a full-on deployment.
They, I think we invaded Japan without us actually knowing about it.
I think,
That's
yeah, they planned on invading Japan, but accidentally got stuck on the other side before they got to actually declare war.
Yeah, they've got like Humvees and shit tons of tents and all these rations, and it's like, dude,
Also, really, what the hell is up with Canadian Girl? He goes, "Hey, yeah, guys, here's a tent, here's some rations. We advise that you don't use your phone. First
hey,
thing, let's use the phone."
we should give Chair Girl a call. At which point I was like, no, or we could not do that.
And then as soon as apparently because they used the phone, that giant monster showed up. At which point I would have not, and they seemed used to that fact, where he's like, that's why I advise you not to use the phone. Well, get ready for the battle. If that was the cause of using the phone, I wouldn't have advised against use of the phone. I would have full on ordered them not to use the phone. I would have taken the phones.
Yeah, I would have snatched the phones out of their hands at gunpoint if that's what happened. Like that is a huge security risk. I
It's like,
would not
hey,
have done that.
also, I would have probably, instead of just saying, "Hey, I'd advise not to use your phones," I would have said, "Hey, if you use the phones, a giant monster is going to show up, so don't do that."
Exactly. Like if that's like if you know there's a bomb planted under someone's car, you don't go like, "Hey man, I don't think you should go out for a drive today." You tell that person, "Don't start your car. There's a bomb in there." Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
Lieutenant Drake is a pretty cool guy, though, but Greg
He's a chill
sucks.
dude.
Fuck Greg. Fuck Greg. Greg's an asshole.
Sergeant Greg is a dick, but Lieutenant Drake,
Greg,
he's a good
calm
guy.
down.
Hearing a Japanese person say Greg is amazing, and I love it.
I love hearing them when they're fighting the monster, they're just shouting generic like soldier shit like die, 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 damn you. Go to
Damn,
hell.
damn you bastard. It is so good.
You son of a bitch.
It's so good. I love it. I'm gonna miss the Marines.
I
It
hope we
was
haven't
something
seen the last
special.
of them because they're still there. They got all their shit. Hopefully they get out because it looks like the girls when they pop back out, they're in like an Okinawa-esque region
Maybe.
because it's more tropical and Okinawa is basically closer to the equator, so it's their more tropical island.
All right. I also hope the Marines show up again, and that's why they're still there for now.
Yeah.
Although they're gonna have some explaining to do if they go back to the other side and run into the Marines that are like, hey, not only did you hide the fact, all right, here's the list of your infractions for this one episode. You summoned a giant monster. You lied about being affected and twisted and altered by the other side. And then you just fucking left us all. That's a little bit of explaining.
I guess at the very least they caused the monster to show up, but they took care of it themselves.
Yes, which in the end outed them as being altered by the other side.
Even though you could have easily, and it was pretty much only Greg that was going to be mad about it, but, you know, the lieutenant was probably at least willing to listen to them because Drake is a cool guy.
Yeah, Greg got super pissed because they killed the monster and all the other Marines were like, holy shit, you did that. You're a hero. And then Greg was like, hold on, her eye is blue.
I don't care if you killed the monster. You're a monster too.
Damn it.
Like,
I knew we could
Greg.
not trust them. Fucking Greg.
Greg's your typical dude that probably joined the Marines because some dude at a mall was just like, do you want to be an action Call of Duty hero? And he's like, yeah.
I would guarantee it. I would guarantee that's how they recruited Greg. He also probably plays for their esports team and gets real salty about it.
The Marines have an esports team?
I know the Army does. I think the Air Force does too. I don't know if the Marines do.
I feel like they don't, or else I feel like it would be commented on more by the person we know who was in the Marines.
I feel like they should. Let's just get our entire military. Yeah. I think we should just get our entire military into esports.
I don't know if the Marines could have an esports team, because by the sound of it, it always seems like they're just like living in squalor. I don't think you could get a really good gaming setup with that.
I don't even know how they do it. And even if
they're not living in squalor, they'll turn it to squalor because they'll go full unga bunga and just start breaking all their shit. Yeah.
The Marines does not sound like a good section to be in.
But it was interesting I guess that they had fucking cell service in this place. Like the dude's on a laptop.
Yeah. And I think the thing they do where the phone calls get all weird is kind of interesting. Like it warps what other people are saying and makes it all crazy. I think that's cool.
I wonder if they actually escaped the other side or if they're still on the train with apparently evil monkeys.
Yes. I am also wondering
Could be an illusion because that happens all the time.
That's what I'm not sure about either. Because, like, we know the other side. It likes to fuck with what you see. Whatever. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I have a feeling we're not done with the train because they still got to probably go back to get back to Ikebukuro, because if they're stuck in Okinawa, that's a pretty big day trip.
Yeah. I think the one problem besides just like causing a huge problem and then solving it and then leaving a bunch of people in the other side, I think one of my major problems with the episode is like when Canadian girl pulls the fucking EBR out of her bag. Well, we don't see her pull it out of her bag. All of a sudden she just has it and her bag is open, but we know the implication there. That rifle could not have fit in that bag.
No. Even in pieces.
Even in pieces. Like, come on, guys. All you expect us to believe that the Canadian girl just has a DMR in her bag at all times? And if she did, why didn't she take it out earlier? Because when they first got there, she was like, I wish I had brought my gun too.
Holy shit, you're right. That is a plot hole.
All I have is this big rifle. I don't know.
That won't be able to do anything against the Bloodborne monster.
I don't know if anything could do anything against that Bloodborne monster.
No, they shot it. Because everything apparently dies if you shoot it in its one weak spot, so, you know.
You just need to... Everyone needs to stare at the wiggle waggle monsters until they get exactly one crazy eye, and then they can see the weak points. Just keep doing that. Wiggle waggle.
Raggle fraggle. Ah, somebody help me.
I wasn't expecting it. A Grim Adventures reference. That episode is great.
That whole show was great.
It really was. Fred burger, Fred burger, Fred burger.
You know what? You know, it was okay this week. The Boonies Kid.
Boonies Kid was okay.
I'm at the point now where I'm just like, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah. The gag does not seem to be able to hold itself up for very long.
It doesn't. I'm at the point now where he's like, oh, I'm super weak. And it's like, no, or like, oh, I messed up. Do you not see the destruction you leave? Yeah, how can you be that stupid?
I will say, I laughed really hard during the arm wrestling competition. Not at the start, but with just how fucking crazy it gets.
Yeah, I think the part that got me the most this episode is where he goes back home and I do like the stupid strong girl.
Yeah.
But I also like the part where he goes back and Alan shows up and he's like, "Excuse me, I have hemorrhoids." And then we
Yeah.
just gloss over that. We don't go back to that.
They gave Alan hemorrhoids just to put him in that one area, and they will never address it again.
Also, I like how at the end when they get the Holy Sword back, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna put it in the Kingdom's treasury." I don't know why we just didn't do that in the first place.
Because I feel like this show is going to have a lot of Alan hemorrhoids moments where it's like, hey, let's just gloss over this one thing that we should have done, and we'll just never return to it again. We'll just have little pieces of dialogue to throw in to paste hastily over our own plot holes. Why didn't we put it in the treasury at the first place? I don't know, but we didn't.
And then we meet some weird bad guy who's looks like some generic evil count guy that apparently messed with the mind of the mean lady.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be the recurring theme. This is why people are bad. I mess with their minds like a Power Rangers villain.
I guess it's just going to be Power Rangers?
You want to play baseball, don't you?
Oh my god. I would laugh
still will
very
never
hard.
get over that one episode that I saw where I don't even know what generation of Power Rangers it was. I was just flipping through the channels one day where I had, I think, Drew over. And I just flipped over to Power Rangers and we were just watching it just in awe, where the plot was they made the kid's dad was in Afghanistan, and they told him that if he wants his dad to come back from Afghanistan, he had to give up baseball. And the Power Rangers are trying to figure out how to beat the monster so the kid can play baseball again. Like, I just remember, it's like, why did you give up baseball, Timmy? That's your favorite hobby. Because I want my dad to come back from Afghanistan. What? This is weird for a Power Rangers episode. And then just the main bad guy in this big rubbery costume, like, yes, your dad will never come back from Afghanistan if you ever touch a baseball again.
Say what you will about Power Rangers, it is always topical.
I guess. I didn't know that, but I guess. And then at the end of the episode, too, they beat the monster and his dad actually shows back up from Afghanistan. And then he gets to play baseball. His dad's back. What a great ending! All because the Power Rangers beat some weird tentacle monster in a rubber suit.
That's because
he's playing baseball again. No, looks like you're out.
Oh, I can see it. I can picture it.
Oh, with their dramatic movements because they have to change their arms every single word that they say. So it's like, wha, 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 wha. Strike one, strike two, and strike three. You're out of here, monster.
When you can't emote with your face, you gotta make up for it by just flailing around like an insane person. It's the only way.
And then the Power Rangers formula. You start off fighting the guy where everyone's doing kickflips, and there's big explosions even though no one has a gun.
Yeah, things just blow up.
Yeah, everything blows up. One of the Power Rangers will get hit into a bunch of crates, and all the crates will blow up, and there'll be sparks everywhere. And I'll be watching it and going, oh, I didn't realize they were fighting at the fireworks factory.
And when they get thrown into the crates, it's always like this shot from underneath where they just were like, here, jump on this trampoline and flail around. We'll shoot from underneath to make it look really cool.
Yeah. And then after, they'll go into their Megazord mode where it switches to literal toys.
You gotta sell them somehow. Megazord, activate! And then that's when the theme song kicks in. That freaking awesome heavy metal kicks in, and it's awesome.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
That shit is awesome. I love Power Rangers, dude.
I only watched Dino Force. I watched the original, but I don't remember it because I was pretty young. But I remember liking Dino Force for some reason in like elementary school or middle
I'm
school, one of them.
I'm fairly certain I've watched all of the Power Rangers, just all of them. I even saw that
I
new
did.
movie that came out a couple of years
I
ago.
didn't know you were that big of a fan of the Power Rangers.
I'm not, which is the weird thing.
You just
Like
watched all of them.
I I could not give you the specifics of like any episodes or anything. I don't even know their names,
That's kind
but
of how
I
I
know
felt
I've
with Ninja Turtles. Like I watched all of Ninja Turtles, and I was cool with it. It wasn't my
yeah,
favorite thing, but it was cool.
but you just watch all of it because that's what you do when you're a kid. Like even when
Teenage
something's
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle
turtle
Power.
power.
And
Yeah.
then that gritty one that was around in the 2000s where it was edgier.
I actually watched a Netflix thing that talked about the Ninja Turtles. Apparently, the original run of the Ninja Turtle comics was wicked edgy, and like
Yeah,
they killed Shredder in the first comic,
but I wanted to take over Earth.
and then they murk him.
The original one was voiced by Uncle Phil.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love him. Uncle Phil's the best, even as Shredder, I suppose. Whatever.
And then they came out with a new movie. Actually, they came out with a couple of movies. I just realized there was a lot of Ninja Turtle movies.
There have been. You've got the original Ninja Turtles movie. You've got Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
I think so. And then the third one where I think they go to Japan.
Yes. I think that one might be I don't no, Turtles in Time was a game, I think. I
Turtles in
think that
Time
one.
was the arcade game.
Yeah. That
Pizza
game
Time.
was pretty good. Pizza Time. Pizza Time.
And then they made the Michael Bay ones.
And I never watched those because they horrified me as like a high schooler. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. I think they have a new one too, but it's more cartoony, kid friendly.
I know
It's like
they
that computer generated animation style that every single
oh
kid's cartoon is nowadays because, they're not cartoons anymore. They're just
yeah.
computer
And they all
generated
kind of
stuff.
look the same.
They do. They're very samey.
It makes me sad because I think about how
Why
different
have
all of
they
the cartoons I
forsaken
watch.
animation?
It's cheaper to just go with the computer generated stuff.
Yeah, it feels like less memorable.
I think it is, but you got to go to indie productions if you want like actual animation.
Speaking of cheap looking CG,
Jesus Christ.
but before we get to that, new segment. We're gonna start a new segment. I warned Ian this was coming. He doesn't know what it is, but we're starting a new segment where we're gonna essentially petition Ian to play Final Fantasy 14. That's the new segment. He should do it. He has a Twitch channel. He should play it. Everyone wants to see his reaction to Shadowbringers. Everybody wants to see it.
Is everyone dying to watch me play Shadowbringers?
Everybody wants to watch you play Shadowbringers. I think about Shadowbringers every single day when I take a shower because I'm just sitting there in the shower with the water running down me, and I'm just, that one hand against the wall, leaning with like my head against the wall, going, "It was so fucking Kino. How was it that fucking Kino?" Every day.
You're just
Shadowbringers in the shower every day.
you're just you're just sold on Shadowbringers.
All of your fans are sitting there chomping at the bit, waiting to watch your playthrough of the main story. They're just sitting there going like, "We'll watch him go through a Realm Reborn." Everybody, they've all said it. I've talked with all of them. We've sat down. We've had board meetings. We've displayed the charts. You can look at the charts. Like there's a graph on there with some numbers where it shows big numbers, and then Final Fantasy on top with little numbers. No Final Fantasy. It's all in the graphs. It's all in the numbers.
As always, I will give it some thought.
It'll be a weekly segment until it happens.
Of course it will be.
So, see you next week.
Cool. This has been Bother Ian about Final Fantasy.
I do it all the time anyway, so now I'm doing it on the platform, making content out of it.
You're gonna try and profit off of bothering me all the time to play Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
I will say I am more apt to play it now because of the cross realm play. That sweetens the pot a little bit.
They always had cross realm play, but now they're just gonna do cross like data center play.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, so you basically it's like you can change your actual like essentially the server you're on.
Yes.
It's not like a permanent thing, but you can just go and play with other people on it, I guess. That's what they're planning on implementing at least.
It's a temporary little hey, go play with your buds on another server.
Yeah.
That it does sweeten the pot.
I don't even care like if you just play it for the story and then never touch again. It's just you gotta experience the Kino.
You just want me to experience the story of Shadowbringers.
Yeah, but you need to do all the other stuff. You can't just skip because you can buy skips, but honestly, because one of my coworkers bought a skip and I'm like, why would you do that? You just ruined all impact.
I wouldn't buy a skip simply because if I am going to experience the story, I actually want to experience the story. Yeah. I'm not going to do it just to do it. That's weak. That's weak sauce.
Yeah. Well, he did it because he's like, oh, I had some friends playing, but they're all max level, so I just bought skips to play with them. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? That's half the fun of the game. This isn't WoW. This isn't WoW where you're just doing... It's like, hello, there's orcs attacking. Go kill some boars because we need the meat, I guess. I don't know. Do your shit.
Go collect 30 tusks.
Why do you need the tusks? There's a lot of boars out there. It's just proof that you killed them. Why don't you trust me? I killed the Lich King. I killed Deathwing. Do you not trust that I can go and kill 10 boars?
And then also,
why when I kill some of the boars do they not have the tusks? Where did the tusks go?
It ends up taking 2.5 hours because like the drop rate on the tusks is abysmal, and you clean out an area and you have to wait for them to respawn.
I think the most abysmal one is I still remember to this day the fucking zebra hooves in the Barrens.
Ugh.
At the crossroads. You know the quest I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly the quest you're talking about.
It's part of like that hunting chain where you have to keep killing a bunch of different monsters, but this one they're like, hey, just go and kill the zebras. Get 4 hooves. Oh, only 4? That shouldn't be too bad.
And then they never fucking drop.
They never drop, and for some reason only one spawns in like an area. So you have to kill the one and then go on over to another area, kill it, and it doesn't drop, and it takes you like a whole hour to do this one quest that you need to do if you want to get all the other ones. Because it's part of the chain.
It is the worst thing ever. I hate that quest. Shit like that kills my interest in WoW every time. Because anytime I even slightly consider going and playing it again, I'm like, think of the garbage. Think of the grabs I'll need to do. I don't want to do that again.
That's the nice thing about Final Fantasy's quest structure is it really doesn't ever have you do that.
That's good.
It's like you don't need to collect something, or if you need to collect something, you'll just kill the thing and it automatically, you don't loot or anything. It's just, here you go, you killed it, that's the thing you get.
Oh, that's nice.
And most of the quests in A Realm Reborn are simply just walking and talking to people. It's like, go to this place and talk to this person because it's a big series of just story.
Hey, go experience the story.
It's like, hey, go learn about all the political info world building we're doing in this expansion. And then you can go and do the fun stuff after.
Now, boys, You need to have your story vegetables before you can have your fun gameplay dessert.
Basically.
But I like vegetables. I
I
like
do.
the story
Vegetables are great.
vegetables.
I really like lore.
It's good and good for you.
Lore is good for you.
Lore is good for you. I wish more people would get into lore.
Lore is great.
Lore is great, mate.
But yep, that was this segment this week. So we can move on now to X-Arm. Whenever they're laying on a bed, the bed is just a picture. It's just a picture on the background that they put the model on top of.
And it looks awful. It looks so bad. His room is a JPEG that it's got a resolution of like 720 by not even 720 by 1280. We're looking at a 460 by like 270. I don't know what the smallest resolution of that is.
The sad thing about watching this episode was if I cared about these characters at all, this would probably be a pretty charming or interesting episode. But it's so hard to care.
Yeah.
Because it's so ugly.
It
like, I
really
like the part
is.
At first I was like, oh, what's going on? Is this like a world inside his mind? But then you find out they're all in VR, just kind of help. They're basically fulfilling his high school like fantasy life.
Yeah,
I like how even Kondo is like, yeah, they're all in some sort of low budget generic high school fantasy VR simulator.
It's like that premise alone should be charming enough. But it's just they did a bad job. They did the bad thing. And it's not.
They did.
Because like I like that idea. Hey, we got to help him get his memories back. What if we like tried to reenact his high school and tried to pull stuff out of him that way?
Yeah, well, it'll just be characters in his life.
Yeah. And we can press him on stuff in that way and make it feel a little more natural. And then the supercomputer gets in the way because I guess she really likes him.
And for some reason, they're still adamant about using that fog filter.
I wish they wouldn't.
Ugly-looking fog filter.
I really wish they wouldn't, but they keep on doing it.
Also, for some reason, there's so many terrible shots of Alma in this. Like, all from, like, the side of her head for no reason. That's where they decided to place the camera for some reason.
Alma's model looks... I guess I will say okay from the front. There is an angle from the side where it looks like she has no fucking chin, and it's the worst thing ever.
And they use it a lot this episode.
They do it all the time.
Also,
guys,
the part where the werewolves show up that look like stock bad guys that you would just take in like a RPG Maker game, where they're like, "Hey, this is our werewolf model here." When she kicks them, the sound effect for the kick is delayed.
It is, and it's super noticeable. I don't know.
That should be the easiest thing. Just put the sound effect right when the frame of the foot hitting the head happens.
See, the fun thing about editing is you don't have to edit something in real time. You can like pause and go frame by frame and make
Imagine
things
if they were
good.
editing the way the editors thought they had to do this. Imagine they never edited before and they're just doing it as the thing is going. Like they just hit play and they're like, come on, come on, come on. They have to put all the effects in as it's happening.
I think there's...
They don't know they can pause and go back.
I think there's more evidence for that. Because, like, you know, after the motorcycle scene when she, like, drives a motorcycle into a werewolf.
Oh, that looks so bad. And then it just holds on that for a second after.
Yeah, because
like a solid 3 seconds of nothing really interesting to look at there.
They put that dumb... I don't even want to call it a filter. I don't even know what they did with those fucking special effects as the werewolves falling over. But the thing I really wanted to call attention to is she has a scratch on her face after that scene.
Yeah, and it just looks like a little shadow.
It does, and it doesn't move with her face.
It's
That is
moving on
not.
its own constantly. It's
Yeah,
like hovering.
that's why I think I know that was edited in post, because if they put that on her actual model, it would have moved with the model. But B, I think that goes towards like they were editing this shit in real time and the editor was just dragging it around with his mouse.
The worst
'Cause,
thing
oh
too,
my
there's a
God.
part where they try to have a truck look like it's gonna hit Alma, but they don't put the truck in. Do you remember that
It's
scene?
I
Because I
I
remember going like they didn't actually show the truck. They did like POV from the truck's view for some reason.
yes.
And then the truck phased out of existence, but it really doesn't show it that way because we never actually see the truck, so it was never there for us to begin with.
And I don't know why. Because they have the truck model, because they used it in the first episode.
Also, a truck should be the easiest thing to have stock models for.
There should be at least a million of them.
But they didn't. And it's weird. I'm glad shitty shot composition came back this week.
Oh, 100%. That's the
Yeah,
best part.
because some of these design choices, like last week, it was almost, it was just bad last week. It wasn't special bad.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We've hit special bad again. We're back at it. Also, this one is another plot issue I have. It's one of the few plot issues I have with this episode. Because, like, the other stuff, fuck it, whatever. But they cop girl goes into the bathroom and then I'm distracted by that stupid scar on her face because it doesn't fucking move with her face. And then his brother shows up in the wall and is like, hey, you should point out the one thing in this world that's the most inconsistent.
Which
And
is
I was
hard
like,
because everything's inconsistent.
yeah. I was like, is it one of the things we pointed out earlier where they were like, hey, no one has smartphones and there are no cars on the road at all? No.
This show is really hard on the viewer because it's sometimes like, hey, oh, we should have noticed this, but you actually can't notice it because everything is so terrible you don't know exactly what you're looking for. And you can't read anybody's expressions or anything.
Yeah, because no, oh my God, that reminds me. Cop Girl, she emotes in the first scene of the episode, and I regretted ever complaining about the characters being wooden. It looks so fucking bad. It's horrifying. I was like, you know what?
Also,
Stop,
the
please.
computer girl that we meet, is she supposed to emote or not because she's a computer? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Is that actually how she's supposed to be? That's the problem with this. I don't know. Also, then we get pictures of Akira where he's in the photo album and he actually has expressions because he's drawn in 2D.
Yeah, and it looks okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have preferred this show. Like their 2D is pretty bad still. It's still very stunted and only uses like 2 frames per like 2D character. But
Yeah.
I would have preferred that.
I
That
said
would have
the
looked nicer.
exact same thing as I was watching this episode. Like they were going through the pictures and I was like, if the show looked like that, even with the terrible animation, I would have been okay. But they didn't. They mixed things and it looks bad.
Oh,
Uh
I don't even know whose decision that was to mix them, because every single time you see it, it's terrible.
it
There's
never
no way
looked.
anyone could have thought it was good. Anyone could have deluded themselves into thinking that.
I feel bad for whoever had to edit this.
They probably looked at what they were working with and said, it's not worth it.
That's why everything is so that's why they were doing it in real time. Because they were like, I don't want to spend any more time on this than I have to.
There's no fixing it, so why bother?
Nothing I can do in here.
Because
In
everyone
this
else was
editing
probably like,
booth.
oh, they'll just fix it in post. And then post was like, this isn't fixing it in post. This is pretty much making it in post.
Nothing can fix this. Can we scrap the whole project? Is it possible to scrap the whole project? We've
That's the
already
only way I can
embezzled the
fix it.
money. Well, if we've already embezzled all of the money, then I guess I'll just spend like 30 minutes an episode editing everything together.
Amazing.
It's incredible. It
Also, we
boggles.
always go back to that shot of the villain who we now know the name is Beta. That for some reason I guess they were really proud of, where every single episode it's that still frame of him just standing there while the people float into the sky.
It doesn't look good, so I don't know why they're so proud of it.
Yeah, we keep going back to that one shot.
Like, it's not cool. It doesn't add anything to the show. It's just bad.
It's a mess.
Yeah. And then we meet Ghost Rider with long hair at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and then the skeleton guy who's the bad guy, the next bad guy who has, I guess, Beta's X-arm or something, and the skull looks so bad. It just looks dumb.
I can't tell if it's supposed to be a mask or if he just is Ghost Rider.
It's like a stock skull.
It's awful. I don't know who made that model, but they should be fired.
You'd have to fire everyone at this point.
Never let anyone who made this show work on anything ever again. Just purge it. Ugh.
But Dr. Stone was pretty good.
Dr. Stone's cool. This show's neat.
They just kind of they work on shit this week. They make the car.
They make the car, and then they make a base, and then they make the car better.
And all the old people decide to stay, which I was confused. I'm like, you were gonna bring them in the first place to a
That's what I was thinking. Hey, we're gonna go to war. Let's bring all the old people and small children with us. And then I do like how the old people were like, you didn't build the car so that you could transport materials. You bought it so you could transport the people who couldn't walk very well. And Senku was all like, nah, it was totally that other thing.
Yeah, they decide to stay. But they're like, what if Tsukasa's people come and attack you? But then I was thinking about that. I'm like, I mean, then they've already lost then. So at that point, yeah. At that point, who cares?
Why at that point, why would Tsukasa ever even bother going after those people? Because that means he already won. And it's like, why waste the time? Because you risk your Unga Bunga crew just encountering more technology that they might want. Gotta get ahead of that.
You gotta watch out for the Unga Bunga crew.
You gotta watch out for the Unga Bunga crew. Turns out Tsukasa is also a strategist as well. He's trying to think ahead of Senku, and I like how he doesn't underestimate him. He seems to be like, anything is fucking possible with this science kid, so we're putting up vehicle traps.
Yeah, he predicts that he's going to get to the point of making a steam engine just because he knows this guy will do it. This guy's super smart.
He made gunpowder basically by himself, with him and like one other person. He with the whole village.
He knows what he's doing.
And I like that. Tsukasa just keeps reminding me about how good of a villain he is.
Yeah, and then we see Chrome is actually planning to break out himself because he can see that, oh no, if they try to come save me, that they're going to fall in the pitfalls. I
like Chrome a lot during this arc because I I like watching Chrome be like, he's kind of coming into his own a little bit, where he's like, I can't just sit here and wait to be rescued. I'm a science user. I do science real good.
He's only being held back by bamboo, so he really should be able to get out.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what he comes up with to escape.
Because we're finally reaching the point of the Stone Wars kicking off.
Yeah. Winter is coming to a close.
Winter has ended.
The White Walkers have retreated this day. Mormon Jormont has won the victory of the Blue Folks. That's a thing, right?
Maybe, but I want to talk about Higurashi.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Satoko is a dumbass?
Yes.
So yeah, they go to their school and she gets offered like 3 times, hey, do you want help studying or do you want to hang out with us? She's like, nah.
I get that they're doing that. She has a mental break because of isolation.
Yeah, the part with like her eye twitches. Even the part with the teacher and stuff, I thought like the teachers would be like a huge bitch to her or something too, but no, the teacher just is like, hey, you're gonna attend after school study sessions. And when Satoko tells her, well, what if I don't want to go? That's completely fine, but you should then go and withdraw from the school because there's no way you're gonna stay in it.
Yeah, because
it's 100% up to you whether you want to be here or not.
Yeah, which is a pretty legit reaction. It's like,
I can't make you.
You decide your own fate. So it's
for some reason Satoko's like, I had to study super hard, work my ass off to get into the school, and now you're telling me I have to study more? Yes.
That
Imagine
is how
school was just, all right, you got in, you're done studying.
Congrats, you've done it. You've made it to high school. Now you can just kick back and crack a cold one with the boys. Which I guess if you go to like a party school.
That's just, I feel like that is high school though.
You also
don't have to study to get into high school.
Not here.
Not here, yeah. Over there though, that's a prestigious high school. So of course, the standard is higher.
I didn't think Satoko was even going to get in. I thought she was just going to like
issue. But no, she does get in, and then she has no friends because she doesn't associate with anybody. And the whole time she's like deluding herself by being like, oh, I don't know why Rika's studying so hard. She's going to give this up after a week. Or, oh, I don't know why she's focused on this school. She's going to give that up soon. Then they get to the school. I don't know why she's hanging out with all these posh people. She'll get tired of that soon. At some point, there's a pattern.
Yeah. I will admit, I don't go for all that posh high society stuff either. But like Satoko
Rika,
doesn't
let us go to the parlor. We have to meet in the parlor this afternoon.
Ugh.
Because that's what rich girls do. They have tea in the parlor.
Let us have a rousing discussion. Would you join us for a round of friendly debate in the parlor?
Today's agenda, we're discussing international politics.
Gross. Gag. Ugh.
Oh,
but like,
ha, ha, ha.
She doesn't even
people are like, what an unbecoming laugh, even though that's literally the Ojo-sama laugh.
Yeah, that's the high society laugh. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's the rich lady laugh.
Maybe they think she's trying too hard. I don't know. I don't get it.
1 second.
I just don't get it. Because she's shooting herself in the foot even after being given so many opportunities. And she doesn't even try to, like, help herself or associate with other people. Because when she goes to the study hall, there are other people, in the study hall that are like, hey, we're basically in the same boat as you, and we have basically no free time because we need to struggle to be here. Try and associate with those people. Form like a study group or something. I don't know. Because I feel like Satoko has so many opportunities to not isolate herself to go crazy, but she takes absolutely none of them.
And it basically ends with her just being like, Rika, we were supposed to have this new life together.
And it's like, dude, you don't even seem like you want it.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. She doesn't like the high society bit. She doesn't even really seem to want to associate with the other people in the study hall. Because, like, she meets people who are basically in the same situation as she is. And instead of being like, hey, we should band together over our shared struggles. It's just like, wow, these guys are freaking losers, dude. Guess I'll just go crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe she's going full school shooter.
She really is. She really is. And she has all the opportunities to not do that. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It feels just weird. It's like she's basically the reason for her own unhappiness. I saw people online saying it's also Rika's fault for not, checking in on her more, but at the same time, she offered multiple times.
Rika offers multiple times to be like, hey, I will help you study. Hey, I will invite you to come along with us. You don't have to be alone all the time. And it's like, bruh, what more could she do? Because Rika also has to like make sure she keeps up with her studies. So like, yeah. I don't know. Seems like she's
at some point
you're
responsible for yourself.
Exactly. Especially in high school, which is kind of weird because I don't feel like high schoolers are intelligent or emotionally mature enough to be responsible for themselves, but that's the situation they're in.
They're Japanese high schoolers in the 80s.
Yeah, they gotta be. It's a bummer, but I'm assuming Satoko is going to kill Rika in that timeline in the next episode, because that's all roads lead to Rome, and Rome is murder.
Basically. And yeah, I don't know. I hope they somehow end up redeeming her because I feel bad.
That'd be nice. It would be real nice to get a personal redemption at the end of this. Like, instead of murder or craziness or any weird supernatural shit, the thing that saves everyone is just some good old-fashioned emotional redemption.
Yeah. Especially for the series like this, where it's like, it already ended years ago. Don't ruin that. Don't ruin that original ending.
And this is a character we've known through for a long time. We've been through a lot with this character, so to just suddenly take this weird
don't take a
turn,
dump on her.
Don't take a dump on a character that everyone likes.
But yeah, I hope they fix that. And before we do our ending closeout thing, Jobless Reincarnation, Mushoku Tensei. We didn't pick that show this season, but it is really good, and I regret that we didn't do it. And I just want to mention it.
An honorable mention.
It's really good.
We can dole those out every once in a while. We have the motive, means, and opportunity.
Yeah.
If you want to see us dump on characters that you haven't known for like 10 years or more, characters like Greg, who fucking sucks.
Yeah, fuck Greg.
Fuck Greg. Then if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Make sure notifications are turned on. You'll see when we upload both new episodes, and fun little shareable bite-sized clips of every episode.
Little bite-sized ones.
Yeah. If you're also if you're on YouTube, leave comments, give us likes, give us all that fun stuff. You hear it every week. If you're on other pod media, then subscribe or follow or whatever the appropriate action is to make sure that you stay up to date on all of the hilarious bits, all of our Greg-based marine bits.
And you can follow us on social media, Twitter and Facebook at Protagonist Seat.
That is another way to stay updated on all the hilarious bits. I believe that is everything. Nope, one last thing. The OP was made by the delightful, the illustrious, the Popskyy. Link to his stuff in the video description.
And if you want to see Ian stream Final Fantasy, you can do so on his Twitch account.
Yes, twitch.tv/Test My Echo, like the Rush album, but not quite.
Where you can find all your latest Shadowbringers content.
Eventually, maybe. Reach out to us on social media. Let us know. Leave comments on the video. Reach out to us. Let us know if you do want me to play Shadowbringers. I'm gonna leave this community action challenge in the post for this video.
Pressure him into it.
I am inviting people to pressure me into it. You know, it helps increase that reach. But that's all we've got for you this week. We hope to see you again next week. Class dismissed.